Great, Andre. I'm now joined on the line by Andre Reed, a renowned wide receiver of the NFL, American Football League, who played over 16 seasons with the Buffalo Bills from 1985 to 1999, and a Hall of Famer as well. And Andre, have you been taking the NFL over the weekend, the wildcard stages, an awful lot of good quality games on show, and not least the epic encounters between Chicago Bears and Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys and Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, gets very interesting around this time of year in any sport when you're down to 12 teams and they're just trying to get to the big game, just like any sport. It's a one game kind of round robin. If you win, you keep going. If you lose, you're out. So all the teams that are in it right now have a chance to, no doubt about it, have a chance to get to the Super Bowl in a big game. And this week is no different with the divisional games happening Saturday and Sunday. The Rams are hosting the Cowboys. You got the Chargers going into New England. The Colts are going into Kansas City. And what is the other game? The other game is the Saints and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles going to New Orleans. So should be a good slew of games. Again, anybody can win it. Obviously, the home team's got a bit of an edge with their fans there, but these are the kind of games where one mistake, two mistakes, or whatever could cost you the game. And they should be pretty good games this week. I don't see really any blowouts. I see, some jockeying for position early, but I don't make predictions. But obviously the home teams have a better edge. The Chiefs, the Rams, the Saints, and who else? The Patriots. They all have a pretty good chance to win the games.
Yeah, and Andre, you mentioned there as well about the home teams getting that sort of advantage, but how important though is momentum as well? Some of those teams are coming off really impressive sort of wins, and they're bringing that sort of form and momentum into the next round as well. And to get that winning feeling early on in the playoffs is a good thing. Yeah. And it can sort of garner a side that might be winning a tight game coming into a game where you're probably not expected to have it all your own way, but having that grinding out that win the week before, it can make all the difference as well.
Yeah, well, you got to have, confidence is obviously a big factor in winning the game. And if you win going into an opponent's stadium, you feel really good about yourself. Obviously, during the week, being in the playoffs, I played in 21 playoff games over my career. Obviously, you want to make the corrections you have to make that you did the week before. There's a new opponent, and you got to watch a lot of film and, studying and doing all the things necessary to give yourself an edge when you go into an opposing team stadium. So I'm sure all the teams that are traveling are preparing, because in this league, in the NFL, it's hard. Not only is it hard to win a game, but it's hard to get to a playoff game and win it. So you got to cross every T, dot every I, and make sure you're ready to go in every phase of your preparation, individually as well as team-wise.
Yeah, and we saw there from the week's games as well, Andre, is in relation to the quarterbacks and momentum, and a quarterback getting off to a good start. A typical example was the Indianapolis Colts, where you had the quarterback Andre Luck, and everything he touched turned to gold. And then you look at poor Lamar Jackson, and it just didn't go for him on the day. And a quarterback on form coming into the playoffs, it can really shift the tide as well. And Luke is going to be coming off a really impressive performance going into the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs have home advantage, but a quarterback on song is a real game changer as well.
Yeah, well, all these quarterbacks have experience in the Super Bowl besides Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. But the other, 4 or 5 teams, Breeze has won a Super Bowl. Andrew Luck, he's one of the guys that are, new to a certain point. Tom Brady obviously has won more Super Bowls than anybody, five Super Bowls. not been to a Super Bowl, but he's very, very well accomplished in what he's done in the league, and I'm sure he might be thinking this is his last chance to get his team to a Super Bowl. He's got everything, yards, touchdowns, all that kind of stuff. But I think as a quarterback in the NFL, getting your team to a Super Bowl really is the main thing that people look at. You can do all that stuff, but getting your team to a Super Bowl and taking your team to a Super Bowl and winning is really, really what defines, I think, a quarterback in the NFL. So Nick Foles last year, the unsung hero coming in for Carson Wentz last year, and obviously doing it again this year. So they, to me, have a bit of an edge when it comes to that because of the way that they were projected last year, not to even make the playoffs, and then go all the way to the Super Bowl and win in the way they wanted. So they're going to be banking on that experience as they go into a very hostile, situation there in New Orleans, which is very tough to win. And obviously, I think Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes will be one and two in the MVP race this year. So it's going to be a pretty good, interesting weekend for fans, and it all leads up to Super Bowl Sunday in a few weeks. So I'm excited about it, and as a fan of the game, you hope these games are pretty close. I'm not saying all of them will be or not, but you just hope that some good play is going to be seen on the tube.
Yeah, and Andre, you said yourself you've won 4 championship conference finals, been to the Super Bowl with the Bills 4 times yourself, and you're talking about in relation to wide receivers and the options that are available to teams as well. I'm just looking there at the Philadelphia Eagles and the acquisition midway through the season of Golden Tate as well. Could he really be a game changer?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody at one point in their career, especially as you get more and more years, if you play long enough, and you're going to be called on to make a play. And especially in the playoffs, this one play could be the difference in the game, and you have to be there to seize the moment. And, you got to carpe diem or seize the moment, and you got to make the play when it's there. And it could be the most important play. So it is. It's obvious that the Eagles had guys, and picking up Golden Tate and having healthy guys going into this game is really important for them to have a chance to beat New Orleans in New Orleans this weekend.
Yeah, and Andre, how important is the panel depth and panel strength in the playoffs? Because we all know training for these big sort of games, all it takes is one injury and your plans can be altered. And you even saw yourself there when Jim Kelly, the famous victory you had over the Houston Oilers, where Frank Wright had to come in. And I suppose it took a time for it to get going, but when it got going, it really got going for you, 32 points down. Yeah. And in relation to that sort of playoff sort of system, I suppose one injury can change the whole shape of a game, but it also can create new stars like it did with Frank Wright in that direction. And yourself got 3 straight touchdowns that day, but Frank still had to put the ball to you. Yeah, and if you look at what happened in 1993, the greatest comeback in NFL history, and Frank Wright was the quarterback. And I think he's relying on, these guys being together, and that's what kind of team we were. We were a team that we relied on each other, and when it's your time to make the play, you have to make the play. And the Colts, I didn't think anybody gave the Colts a chance to even be close to being a playoff team this year. And I think Frank has done a great job of molding those guys and having them believe in themselves, and obviously having Andrew Luck back, and a healthy Andrew Luck was the key to their season this year. And I give them a chance going into Kansas City. Kansas City's defense is a little raw. Obviously, they have offensive weapons that they can score points, and they've outscored a lot of people this year. But I think the Colts can, if they get into a scoring match with them, I don't know if they can score as many points, but they have the offense and the weapons there on offense to combat that and score points also. So it's going to be, again, it's going to be mistakes at the right times, and no matter how many mistakes you make, a team has to capitalize on those mistakes to make it work, make it happen. And Andre, we have a team there as well in New England Patriots who are smartly smartling from defeat in last year's Super Bowl, and probably one of the greatest coaches of all time in Bill Belichick, and an all Hall of Famer, and probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game in Tom Brady. And that partnership has been there for a long, long time, and it might be the last trip for them going down the well together. And how much you think of a threat and vengeance to redeem themselves is going to spur on New England Patriots this year?
Well, the Patriots have always been there every year, and as long as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have been coached there, they have not only been, I wouldn't say they have been the class of the NFL, but in order in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl, you have to beat New England. And obviously, they're there again this year. Kind of a down year, if you want to call it, for them. And I think you're right. This could be Bill Belichick, Tom Brady's last go around here. To a certain point, you never can count him out. Tom Brady said he wants to play until he's 45 or whatever, how old he wants to be. It is. They have proven time in and time out that they're always the team to beat, and to go into New England is always a task to beat the Patriots there. And they haven't had a team of maybe not as many household name stars as other teams, but they have a system there that works, and it's won them 5 out of the last 8, 9, 10 Super Bowls in the last 10 years. So obviously everybody's trying to figure out what their formula is, and the Chargers, I think, are playing probably the best football at anybody in the playoffs this year. They're playing great, and I think if anybody's prime to lose at home, it's the Chargers going into New England and beating them, because the Chargers, not only are they good on offense, but they're very, very good on defense, and I think you need that when you go up against Tom Brady.
Yeah, and Andrew Reid, you're a Hall of Famer wide receiver yourself, and if I had to put you on the spot there in relation to the teams that are left in the race for the Super Bowl, maybe what two wide receivers that played your role that stick out to you, that have prominent roles to play for their side's fortunes if they're going to get to a Super Bowl final this year? Is there two, maybe a sleeper wide receiver and maybe a prominent wide receiver that you think that are going to have big bearings on the rest of these playoffs?
Well, I think every one of them. Obviously, you have your stars, and the Saints have Michael Thomas, and the Chiefs have Tyreek Hill. Chargers with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. The Colts with T.Y. Hilton, and their tight end has had a great year, Pro Bowl year, Eric Ebron. The Eagles, you have Zach Ertz, who's caught more passes than any tight end in the NFL ever in 1 year. And obviously the Rams have a lot of weapons with Todd Gurley in the backfield, and they have Robert Woods, and they have Brandon Cooks. So and then the Cowboys, you just never know to a certain point, what team is going to show up for Cowboys, and their probably success out here in LA all hinges upon whether they get the running game running with Zeke Elliott. And Dak Prescott does not make the mistake at the wrong time. And they're going to. I guarantee you, they're going to give him 20 to 25 carries, if not more, on Sunday when they come out here to LA to play. So, and they have some good receivers. I think they made a great acquisition in the middle of the year, or towards the end of the year, with what's his name from the Raiders? I forget his name. He's Cooper.
Yeah,
Amari Cooper. And I think he's been the key to their success, especially on offense, because a lot of times, if you don't have that weapon on the outside, you can stack the box and stop the run and expect the quarterback to beat you. And they've gotten a guy there that's done a phenomenal job for them the last 7-8 games of the season. So they're going to be good games, man. I think everybody's going to have a chance to win. Maybe one team more than others to a certain point, but it should be an exciting weekend for football fans all over the world, especially there in Ireland. I've been to Ireland before, and really like. I want to play golf again out there. So it should be fun this weekend.
Andrew Reid, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, reflecting on your iconic career, looking back at the games from last weekend and the upcoming games in this weekend. And no doubt we're going to have an exciting end of season to the NFL playoffs with the conference finals around the corner and the Super Bowl final. And thank you, Andre, for speaking to us this evening, looking back on an iconic career, a Hall of Famer, 7 straight trips to the Pro Bowl, 234 games, 951 receptions, 13,000 yards and 87 touchdowns, a career that is destined you for the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you very much, and thanks for calling. And I want to say what's up to all the Irish fans out there in Ireland that are football fans here in America, and they're going to have a good weekend watching these games. So thanks a lot for having me, and anytime you guys want to talk about anything, just let me know. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Andre. Thank you.
You got it.